Order. This time, for those that wish to join council as we rise for our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd ask Deacon Carrington to lead this direction.
Stewart Pro Tem Harrington.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stewart Pro Tem Harrington, would you give our invocation?
Everybody ahead in prayer, please. Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for watching us last night, waking up and son. Thank you for waking us up and giving us a reading close to health and strength to do things, give you praise and glory first thing this morning, to do things that you would like for us to do. And we just want to thank you. We want to thank you for bringing us to this particular moment of city council meeting, and also for the swearing in of our brother, Kenzie Pete tonight. And please give the council the wisdom and the knowledge to do the right thing in your name when they make the city. Amen.
Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. This time, the chair will entertain a motion to waive the reading and approve the minutes of May 11th, 2021 special city council meeting, May the 11th, 2021 regular city council meeting, and May the 21st, 2021 special city council meeting. Is there such a motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Have it. Moving into presentations, before we begin with certification of election results, I'd like to recognize that Councilwoman Adelina Graham is here. We are delighted to have you back. If you would prefer to come and sit behind the rail, you certainly have earned that privilege. If you're okay there, we're just glad to have you back. All right. So this time, we'll turn the floor over to the manager and clerk to begin the process for certifying the 2021 special election results. Madam Clerk.
To the Honorable Mayor Pennington and the City Council of Hartsville, as reported by the Director of the Darlington County Board of Elections and Registration, the following May 18, 2021 official certified special election results are as follows. Council District Number 1, votes cast, Kenzie Delane 29, write-in 3. In that the legal time limit has expired and no protests have been filed, the following candidate is submitted to City Council as being elected to fill the unexpired term for Council District 1 ending November 2021. And it's recommended that the successful candidate be confirmed by City Council. For Council District Number 1, Kenzie Delane.
Okay. So at this time, it's the will of council that we begin that swearing in process. I'd ask the council will follow us in front of the desk. Mr. Delane, if you'll please join the clerk. Mr. Manager. Y'all want to come join us? You're welcome.
In your finger.
There you
Face you.
Well, let's do this. Let's face places that have done that something. Here.
Come
You
stand.
don't have to. That's fine. That's your call. Here, judge number 5, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am duly qualified
I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duty
of the office to which I have been elected,
to the office for which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect,
and preserve and protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of this state
of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
as council member of the municipality of Hartsville,
as council member of the municipality of Hartsville,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my
to
ability
the best of my
and
ability
skill,
and skills,
exercise the trust
exercise the trust
reposed in me,
reposed in me.
and I will use my best endeavors
I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to the law,
according to the law,
the purposes
the purposes
for which I have been elected.
for which I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, okay, all right.
Alright. Alright, ready? This is for the newspaper. I think he's here, so y'all look at me real quick. Alright, 1, 2, 3.
So we've reserved the balance of a half hour
Oh.
for your introductory remarks.
Well, the campaign is over, time to go to work.
You've got a lot of family and friends here. We'd like to give you just a little bit of time to take some personal photos if you wish to have. And if you want to introduce any of them, now would be.
Well, I just keep it short. This is my brother Paul Delane. He's my, only and oldest brother, 1 year apart. This is my youngest son, Kendrick Delane. So he actually lives in Georgia now. He's a LSU Tiger fan. And, sorry about One going around. This is my brother Paul. He's outside of D.C. up in Marlboro, Maryland. All right. So this is the true politician.
You are.
Oh, this is Mary.
And anybody else?
Well, I mean, they're open, but I think we did enough down the street. I don't want to give Winifred a chance to talk.
Do you want to take any photos with family?
Yeah, I can bring my home. I mean, anybody. Yeah. We all grew up on Larry. Get up here. Come on, Charles.
Yeah.
Gerald.
Let's go.
Real one. Yeah, real one. And we had a pretty good baseball team. And this guy used to hit 800.
They didn't have just men on TV.
All right. Oh my God.
They didn't have just men. Powerful women on James Avenue.
Judy's on James Avenue.
Yeah.
Judy? She wasn't talking to me, but she was on James Come on, Judy.
I used to have to spank these boys all the time.
Not Calvin.
Not Calvin. And everyone here be fascinated.
Alright.
James.
Okay, this last one.
Got clear.
That's 6 days.
Move.
I will. It's a good
Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay.
Somebody else along. So, just so you know, there's a lever on the side. And Johnny's the one that started this. When I first got seated, I came in and my chair was sitting down here. I was looking up at everybody wondering why.
Yeah.
That's what Johnny did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Quit.
All right.
Guy right there.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you and appreciate your sentiments. I know you've been waiting on this day for quite a while. Okay. So, thank you all.
Sarah.
Now you're front row.
All right, so we're going to move into proclamations. And since this is your day and this is special, we're going to put you right to work.
Okay.
I would ask that you would present. Who is here for the Juneteenth? Okay. Yeah, Ms. Adelina, would you be willing to accept the Juneteenth proclamation? I know that you've helped issue it for many years.
Yes, I will.
All right. Mr. Delaney, would you please join us down here? We were going to put you to work, sir, with your first proclamation.
Okay.
I'll give you a minute to look over. Ms. Graham, if you want to come down, if you would accept that, that'd be wonderful. Anybody else that wishes to join us from council, please come on down.
I read it there.
Come down to the photo op.
You can read it, talk about it. Let everybody come on down and then we'll. Okay. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, good. Proclamation. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring the slaves in the Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passage of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States, and whereas word about signing the Emancipation Proclamation was delayed some 2.5 years to June 19, 1865. In reaching the authorities and the African Americans in the southwestern United States, and whereas the Emancipation Day observations are held on different days in different states in the South and Southwest in other parts of the nation. Whereas June 19 has a special meaning to African Americans, it is called Juneteenth, combining the word June and 19. Has been celebrated by African American community for over 150 years. Now, therefore, I'm not the mayor.
Yeah.
On behalf.
On behalf of the mayor, okay, I got that. Mayor of the city of Hartsville, I hereby proclaim June 19, 2021 as Juneteenth Celebration Day. In the city of Hartsville, urge all citizens to become more aware of the significance of this celebration of African American history and the heritage of our nation and city. Witness thereof, I hereunto set my hands and cause to be affixed seal of the city of Hartsville. Mayor Carl M. Mel Pennington, the fourth. Mayor, I present. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody jump in.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I would like to say that we did a celebration about 3 years ago, but in next year, we're gonna have a large,
Yeah.
a Juneteenth celebration.
Amen.
I want everybody to come and be involved in it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Grant.
Okay.
Thanks.
I know what you two are thinking, because I can feel it. When y'all got sworn in, I didn't let you do anything the first day. I'm showing favoritism, but you know.
He's sucking up to me.
That's right.
I kind of hung out for like 2 months ago.
Yeah, you did. We weren't sure if it was certified. All right, thank you. You did a great job. Ms. Graham, thank you for receiving that. I know that you've been an instrumental part of that proclamation for many years. So it's delightful to know that you're here. After that, we have public comments. Mr. Dana K. Cranford.
That's not what's wrote on that thing.
Well, I like for people to know what your real first name is.
First of all-
Cranford.
First of all, I've always been told to dress with success, but days been working these days. I have not had time to go back home, and I apologize for it. It's just been a crazy day, been a crazy week, it's been a crazy month. Speaking of crazy month, I want to tell you why I'm here. On May 17th, around 1:45 p.m. in front of the Center Theater, a pedestrian was hit with a car, broke her femur in 4 places, along with her husband also being knocked down and skin up. There was roughly probably at that time maybe 200 people outside the theater. Yes, the people were jaywalking, but I've got a gut feeling that the driver's car was also rubbernecking. The same event likely taking place again Sunday afternoon. The mother had to grab the child. The same thing would have happened, and I happened to watch it happen. And that the driver's car was not even paying attention to the road, she was paying attention to what's going on the sidewalk. Now, when I ride through Bishopville, it has no bypass around it. Straight U.S. Highway 15 control right here. The city of Bishopville has 2 pedestrian crosswalks in the middle of the city. We have them at 4 corners. That particular area there is a very busy area. And a lot is going on at the end. When you start moving 300 or 400, 500, 600 people, that's a very busy street. Yes, they were jaywalking, but we need to address the traffic situation there somehow, some way. I'm one person. I don't know anything about DOT permits, but I'm looking for you, the city, for help. What do we need to do? What's the process? I'm willing to help anyway, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you for that. You just want to bask in that for just a moment, everybody. You are singing a vision that we have been begging for a.
Well, I understand DOT, they always go back to you, you know.
Well, so
But Bishopville has no bypass. All the traffic has to go through Bishopville.
We bring up Bishopville.
Yeah,
That's
so-
the source for it.
Yeah, and not to, we're not here to throw DOT under the bus. They have rules and regulations. What we're here to do is change the perception of mid-block crossings is what we call them. We have been fighting 2 battles for over a decade, for probably multiple decades. we have that same issue out front, and you can, I don't want you to have to stand the whole time. I go long on this topic. It's near and dear to all of us up here. We've been trying to convince the powers that be that mid-block crossing, where it was kind of designed out here in front of Mantissa crossing to the Y,
Yes, sir.
that's been a big part of our focal point, only because this portion of 15 was federal and turns, is that right? Federal didn't go all the way through, it turns, right? Anyway, it's harder to affect change on this way than it is out in front of here, because this is more
This
county
is state road rather than federal. I'm
Right,
saying.
and so while the issue hasn't come up about the theater in particular, we certainly understand that as the theater begins to grow and continue to be successful, that there are going to be hundreds of people, and as we redevelop, the restaurant across the street, there's going to be a lot of crossing. If Vince Graham were here right now, he would love the discussion about jaywalking and how it got to be a term that was used in a derogatory manner to, I won't go into the whole history, but basically there's nothing wrong with it. We've just given priority to automobiles over pedestrians, which is kind of where our society has come to at this point. All of us up here feel the same way that you do about mid-block crossings, and we are working through that. We've got a really good relationship with the new our head guy here, Kyle Berry. We've really been working hard to work through some of these issues that he has to be held to. But part of our argument is how, and we have pictures and a list of mid-block crossings for the entire state. And what we had been historically told from the top echelon above Kyle's head was that those are different districts. And we don't understand how you can have a state regulation that's applied differently. So 15 miles that way, they have a beautiful mid-block crossing, 2 of them, with topiaries from one of the most world-renowned topiary artists in the world. Pearl Fryer, yeah. And they don't have all the things that now DOT is wanting to put in. And just to lump on top of that, while we're standing on the soapbox, did you send us the picture of the roundabout with stuff in the middle?
The one that took 4 weeks to do.
4 weeks to build, yeah. And so, we've been told we can't put anything in the roundabout because it's against the regulations. And lo and behold, there's this beautiful roundabout with flags and fountains and statues, and it's like, how did we not get all that, right? Like, and so we're in agreement, and we're working towards that to have public support behind. The ask of the city would certainly be beneficial. So kind of the more people that we can have supporting this idea of mid-block crossings, not just mid-block crossings, but the real question becomes, how do we effectively slow down what is 4 lanes of traffic that's at a higher rate of speed? You won't even get into the accident stuff. You can almost say by what she broke and the fact that she's still alive, how fast the car was or wasn't going. And as that gets to a certain point, then you start to see, well, she could have died if it were going X miles an hour. And to lump it on top of the police department and say, well, that's a traffic deal. Let's call the county or call the transit police or call Highway Patrol or whomever it's an easy pass the buck. It's not the best use of their time and effort, and there are ways that we can mitigate traffic by implementing traffic calming devices that we all agree would work better, and not have to say, well, you should sit out there and run radar, because that's only going to work for how long, Chief? 2 days?
Yes.
Not long. If it's my kids driving 3 hours.
That's right.
Right. So let's talk after this, and let us bring you up to speed on who we've had this conversation with.
Well, can an encroachment permit be issued each event and put a temporary sign in the middle of the road to slow people crossing? I realize that's an encroachment permit, you got to go, I think, 6 days ahead of stuff, I think it used to be time.
Could it work? Sure. Could we stick a sign out there and hope they never notice? Sure. The right way to do it is the right way and not cheat the system, but change the system. Like, it's time that we level the playing field for all of the regs as they're applied to us. We fought the same battle with the water park. We had pictures of lazy rivers with vegetation that was more than 10% covering the entire facility. And we said, well, how did this get approved? Not DOT, but a different government agency. How did this get approved? Here are pictures from all over the state where this exists. And the answer was kind of like, well, that was a different district.
Happened with the ropes, they wouldn't have been all of us have ropes either.
Yeah.
So it happens.
And so, we want to do it in a way that's tasteful. I like Bishop Hills. I don't mind the divider. When we had the last conversation, it was going to be a raised hump, all but the train mast arm that comes down, and flashing lights. And you don't see that in downtown Charleston. You don't see it in Bishop Hills. So let us talk after this and kind of bring you up to speed on where we are.
It's just ironic, I'm talking about ATAX tonight, and those people spent 3 nights, but at the wrong hotel in Carolina Pines.
Yeah.
And that's not the kind of thing you want advertised,
They were here for what event was it?
Dance recital.
And that's our bread and butter.
Yeah, and they actually were staying, I think, at the Hampton Inn, supposed to that night. They wound up.
And how is she doing now?
Brenda has spoken with her daughter, said she's doing real well. It's just been a long process there. Her older couple, I said, not that old, they're about my age. But
That's
I don't say nothing, sir. But they're doing well. I mean, you talk about a finger is a bad thing to break. When you start talking age 50, 55, you start breaking fingers. I mean, that was quite a lick.
Yeah.
I mean, all it would have took was 5 degrees this week, it could have been a broken neck. I mean, you can be.
well, and the kid, and we had this same kind of conversation with, with speed and traffic and mid-block crossings down at the park at Pride Park, where the young girl walked between 2 parked cars and wasn't running in the street, but she almost got hit or didn't get, seriously injured, but it was one of those things where could have been. So yeah, I think maybe we can just figure out how to best organize to get the right support together to get some movement on those issues.
Because I have signed today, or the last week, 3 huge events.
Yeah.
Here in July and August of this year, so it's going to be.
Well, Councilman McGee is a master of technical urbanism, so he could probably tell you things that could help resolve some of that. It wouldn't cost a lot of money. So yeah, we'll talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything else, Adam? Adam drew the short straw. Well, Adam, this is kind of like, your college professor, the one that threw the papers down the stairs and the one that went all the way down got the A.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of the opposite of that.
That's unfortunate. Well, I saw that they saw my name on there and they're like, oh, Adam's speaking, we're all leaving. So I do what I can.
No, come on up. We're glad to have you, especially because we've got, I guess you've had a chance to spend some time in some of the departments already, or?
Oh, yeah. Pete and I did leadership Hartsville together.
Yeah.
So when you said, Pete, you have 30 minutes to talk about, I don't think it's going to be enough time for Pete, but I'm speaking from experience. Okay, so like Mayor Pennington said, ooh, that was weird.
Yeah, just hey Mel, how you doing?
My name is Adam Bedard. I'm the interim director for Parks and Recreation. Hartsville has some of the most beautiful parks in the state. We have Law Park, Bird Park, Centennial Park, the Vista, Pride Park, and my baby, Byerly Park. So Byerly Park is where the Coach T.V. Thomas Sports Center is. We have 8 baseball/softball fields, 2 regulation soccer fields, 2 regulation football fields, 6 hardcourt tennis courts. We have a dog park, handicap playground, a 1.04-mile walking track, and yes, that is accurate. I walked it 8 times to make sure it was correct. A quarter-mile running track, and our recently engineered outdoor basketball court. Now, the other part of what we are trying to do is bring more recreational activities for Hartsville. That's not your standard baseball, softball, soccer, football, basketball. So over the past year, we've done mostly adult sports, as the children's sports are done through the county. Before COVID, we had adult soccer ready to go. COVID hit, had to cancel it. Real upset about that, but we're hoping to bring that back here probably the next month or so. In the fall, we had our adult kickball league, which we had 0 injuries this year, which is a good thing because adults don't understand. You can't just get out of the chair without stretching and go play kickball, Bryson. We also just got done with our first ever adult wiffle ball. And Bob Brady can vouch for how much fun wiffle ball inside of TV Thomas actually is.
Wait, are you playing or are you umpiring?
Oh, he was just watching it.
Spectator.
Oh yeah. He gave Charles Mullen, who was umpiring, some pointers. You call that a strike?
Yeah, right.
And then we recently just started our Ladder League adult pickleball. It's going on about 3 weeks now. We have 22 participants in that. So that program over the past 2 years has gone from 4 to at most 26. So we're growing it, we're pushing it. Everyone loves it. And then the other great part about my job is the recreational tourism that I get to bring to Hartsville. The bottom row, we have Tier 1 softball, USSSA baseball, softball, ISA girls softball, and Top Gun. Those are our normal. We have them every year. They come in, do a great job. But what we're trying to do now is bring in something new, something exciting, something Hartsville's never seen before. And that's where the top row comes in. We had our first ever adult kickball tournament here. Bryson's a huge fan of that one, played in it, got to the playoffs, and then that umpire was just not happy with Bryson, almost tossed him, but he kept his cool.
Leave that one out of Calgary.
Oh, that's right.
He won't come back to Hartsville, let's say it like that. But after we lost, I did come back in my nice clothes.
Oh, absolutely. And had a great talk, had a lot of fun. That
have
tournament.
to build him up. We know who the athlete in his family is.
After that, we had 11 teams come from there, or come to Hartsville. We had 3 locals. I want to say we had 6 from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. We had 1 from Georgia. And then we also had free agent players come up from Miami, Florida to the Pacific Tournament. So super excited. We already reached back out to them, and we're going to try to have another kickball tournament September, October, November, somewhere in that range. So super excited to have them back. And then something else we brought to Hartsville this year was the ACL, the American Cornhole League. We reached out to an outfit out of Myrtle Beach. They're like, we're coming. We set them up in Hartsville. They came Friday night. They stayed inside TV Thomas till about 2 a.m. playing cornhole. There was 46 people who showed up for the first event. And typically they have about 20. So we doubled it, and that's why it just took so long. And then the second day, they were expecting about 120, 130 people. We had, I had to get the exact number earlier today, we had 223 participants. And that is including the #1 player in the ACL. So it was super excited to have there here in Hartsville. And then we also have 2 semi-pro athletic teams that use our fields. We have the Carolina Thunder, which is semi-pro basketball. They're based out of Dillon, but they use us as their home site. I'm completely fine with that. And then we have the Carolina Gators, who I want to say they were out of Marion and then moved to Hartsville. They were just impressed with our facilities. So we came to an agreement with them, and they used our fields this year for their football games. So super excited, and we're looking forward to the next thing. Don't know what it is yet, but if you ever come to my office, and once again, Bob can attest to this, I have a big old dry erase board, and we have an idea, it goes on the board. Idea goes on the board. Not saying I want competitive food eating here in Hartsville, but I think it'd be cool. And then, it's our pleasure to serve you. If you guys ever have any ideas, please send them my way. We're always looking for new, exciting, cool things. Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to compliment you. We had a lady in our church who was very much a pickleball enthusiast, and reached out to the city and really appreciate the way that you accommodated those participants.
Same.
Do you have line dance insurance?
We currently do have line dancing. It takes place on Wednesdays.
See, you left that out. I didn't even know until somebody told me.
Yes, so it just started 3 weeks ago.
Wednesday, what time?
6 to 7. It won't be this Wednesday.
This is the amateur division. We knew that you were a step up, so.
But yes, it's Wednesday, 6 to 7. It won't be this Wednesday. The lady who teaches it, she's at the beach for the week. So it'll be next Wednesday, 6 to 7. More than happy to have you.
Adam, I'd like to piggyback off of Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It was the events that I got to participate in were hilarious. I might have overdid it in the fall. That injury might have made it to the spring. The worst part was hitting that cold clay. That was worse.
Oh yeah, that last
It was awesome, man. Going to Charlotte and seeing the residual effects of these events. I walked into Stir, and one of the managers played in this tournament. It was like, hey, those guys from Hartsville, they literally were showing people some of the things we did at some of their day parties. So I'd like to commend you, man. That was outstanding, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys can do in the future.
Well, I didn't want to say anything now, but we just got done talking with the Go Kickball people, and we believe our fall league is going to be Go Kickball.
Let's make it happen.
That's what we do.
I went out there that Saturday morning and watched them play cornhole.
Mm-hmm.
It was boring. I never missed. I mean, everyone went in there.
Everyone.
They just, oh yeah, 21, yeah. No.
Correct. Well, no.
That gym was packed.
Well, I mean, in fairness, when you spend your college career perfecting, a sport that was invented for that, yeah. That's why they added alcohol to it, to make it more.
Everyone that's right plays.
Oh yeah, and it's unreal. And most of them, they're like, oh, trick shots.
Yeah.
And yeah, same thing. I mean, it was fantastic.
Well, we're delighted to see that you brought a fresh new perspective and approach, and it's nice to see that you're running that ship now and doing a really fine job of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Manager.
Sure. I just have two quick updates. The first one is I did want to introduce Wesley Miles to Stan. This is our new Director of Public Services. He got a chance to meet a lot of you at the mayor's sweet event, but then everyone's kind of, he took the show, so I don't know what happened. But Wesley is here. He's been here for now 2 weeks or so.
Yes, sir.
So he comes from Pageland, and we're very excited to have him and see what he can do. So please, if you have any questions for him, you can start doing ideas for public services. That's your guy. All right.
I would like to say one thing. I know starting something new is always comes with challenges, just like y'all have, but it also comes with rewards. So we take those challenges to get those rewards, and so that's why I took this position. I feel like y'all have a good staff here. I do, city manager, all your supportive staff are, well educated, know their jobs, and I hope to be able to help with the needs of the city and do the best job I can do while I'm here. But I do appreciate the opportunity and look forward to working for our citizens and doing what's best for them. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. And that's brought up. I totally missed probably most everybody doesn't know that you lost your dad, and We probably should have had a moment of silence to begin with. And I thought about that because I got tickled when, he came to the event. I left for vacation, you left to go take care of your mom, and I just had this picture of, you're hired and nobody told him where your office is or where's anything, and he's just kind of, it's like that,
He just wandered around.
that episode of The Office when the guy's walking around like, everybody like.
Came out at Centennial Park.
Yeah.
He hasn't left Centennial Park, he left.
Yeah.
It's the cleanest it's ever been, though, so that's really good.
Yeah, so we are delighted to have you, and certainly, certainly sorry about your father. You had a second item you wish to?
Yeah, this is just to give you an update. So we did get a report from the Department of Transportation. So there's a repaving list that's come out through the county. And we have 2 roads of the 5 miles it's going to be.
Well, tell them we've got 25 feet on Carolina and another 30 on 15 that we don't need to pay because it's going to be mid-block crossing. Am I right, Mr. Craig?
Well, these both are on South 5th Street, and it's 2 sections, an 8.18 mile section and a 0.16 mile section. So we really hit the jackpot this time. This is through the CTC, and this is something I was talking to the skipper about. I'd like to see what we can. The city clerk, the esteemed city clerk, the skipper. I'd like to explore how we can be better represented on that board. It's the transportation. What's CTC stand for? It's always
County
transportation. Yeah.
And Teresa used to serve on that at one point.
Right now, we do have an appointee from Hartsville. I'd like to meet with them and talk to them about what, but I feel like we need to, certainly 0.18, 0.16, and 5 miles is not a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think that if we were to work with them on, and again, it goes back to things with the county and DOT, we need to be better represented. So we're going to work on that, so I hope to see next year I can report that we have 4 miles of 5. Not that they don't, or maybe it's 10 miles and we get 4 of it, but something needs to be done.
The Mayor Pro Tem will be satisfied on King's Place. That's good.
I'm taking requests.
Just 0.8 in front of his house would be sufficient, I'm sure.
But that is it for my manager update.
Okay, thank you.
Those 2 sections will be Darlington Avenue and Davis Street.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. I forgot to
So
say
you may
that.
see some construction going on there, that traffic lights, Darlington Avenue
And Davis.
from 5th to 4th, and
Yeah.
Davis from 5th to 4th.
Much needed.
Right. Yeah, they went from south to 4th, yeah. It's across the road.
We just need to make sure that when they do work like that, the city is notified, because they'll come in and scrape the road
Oh, yes.
and repave the road, and you're going down the road 30 miles an hour, 25, whatever speed limit is, and then boom, drop off. The entire bus and your rim is.
Well, they have done a much better job of notifying us, especially when we did the project on Home.
Anything better than the day of.
Yeah.
It was appropriate.
They actually, they asked for our input on some of that project because they knew that, we were going forward, we do care about.
Yeah.
One of our main issues that when they do that, it's a contractor that the state hires, and a lot of times they will cover our valves, they'll cover our manholes.
Yeah.
And that's just, we can't have that. So we provided risers in the past to keep it at street level. So I would say that most recently the conversation has been better. The communication has been better. So I think that will happen in this case, and we're going to keep pushing to make sure it does.
Marcina Davis is our representative on communication.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's who I want to be looking to talk to. I've always had a staff personnel be represented on there, in addition to something, but I know these are more higher level state driven appointees type thing. It depends on where you're at. So I'd like to see what we can do and maybe just start talking and see if we can get, and not force our way in, but certainly just be part of the conversation or be on their minds at least.
So I was going to ask you, how does that happen? As a state?
It depends on where you're at. This is largely, there's a lot of push from this top down for this position.
These are the legislative delegation appoints these.
Yeah.
All right. Anything further?
Not for the signature.
Okay, so items on the consent agenda will be received without objection and stand approved. Moving into unfinished business, public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4411, if the manager will publish.
Yes, sir. It's an ordinance to adopt a budget for the city of Hartsville, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2020.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4411. This time, the chair will open the public hearing on ordinance 4411. If you'd like to be heard on the ordinance, you rise, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. Hearing that there are none, the chair will move to close the public hearing and entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Madam.
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to ask Madam Finance Director and the city manager, this will always be able to have tweaking done to it once it's adopted?
Yes, ma'am. So essentially, we're asking you to pass a balanced budget. Certainly within that budget, we're allowed to move things to what we need to meet the needs of the city. And so if there's any tweak that needs to be done, and certainly we make up different areas. For instance, this year we do have some amendments coming up, but that's for utilities. We have another zero amendment for the general fund, which is another showing that how we be able to trim the fat and make sure that we're appropriating our money effectively. So we always can move things around and act as we need to, as long as we stay within that balanced budget for you. And anything higher than that, we certainly will come to you guys to further tweaking.
I think I have found something that's interesting that we need to look at.
Okay.
And I'll discuss that with you all.
Absolutely, please.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 7 on the agenda is public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4412. The manager will publish.
Yes, sir. It's to annex approximately 3.95 plus or minus acre parcel of land, tax map number 03600010066.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4412. This time, the chair will open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4412, you rise, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. And hearing that there are none, the chair will move to close the public hearing and entertain a motion to adopt.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we pass ordinance 4412.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 8 on the agenda is public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4413. The manager will publish.
Yes, sir. It's to annex approximately 1.05 plus or minus acre parcel of land, tax map number 03600010089.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4413. This time, the chair will open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4413, if you'd rise, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. And hearing that there are none, the chair will move to close the public hearing. Entertain a motion to adopt.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we adopt ordinance 4413.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 9 on our agenda is public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4414. Manager will publish.
Yes, sir. It's approval to lease a portion of an alleyway at 120 South 5th Street from the Trust Company.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4414. This time, the chair will move to open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4414, if you'd rise, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. And hearing there's nothing from Chief Thompson, we'll move to close the public hearing. Entertain a motion to adopt.
Mr. Mayor, I so move we adopt ordinance 4414.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. The item 10 on the agenda is resolution 6-21-01. The manager will read the resolution.
Yes, sir. It's the approval of distribution of state local accommodations tax revenue.
Okay, you've heard the resolution title 6-21-01. Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Then hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 11 on our agenda is first reading of ordinance 4416. The manager will publish.
It's amending the 2020-2021 fiscal year budgets. And this was, just for explanation, this was provided to us, sorry for the last minute addition, but this is amendments to the utility fund, not the general fund. And you have a list of what those reasoning for. If you have any questions on it, please feel free to let me know.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of ordinance 4416. This is the first reading. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we adopt ordinance 4416.
Second. I'm sorry, was there a second?
You made sense. Say second.
Oh, thank you. We have a second from our freshman member. Let the clerk reflect. This is his first. That's okay. You can read it. You can't give these two everything. They'll sit here all day in first and second everything. You jump right in. So we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay? The ayes have it. Okay, before we go into executive session, is there anything further for the benefit of council or the city? Madam Clerk, Mr. Manager, Madam Finance Director?
I just want to say thank you to the department heads. The first year that I came, we're 1.68 million of budget amendment on general fund, 400,000 on sanitation, every fund, even hospitality, and to see that we went down, that's just a testament to how hard they've been working. So I'm thankful that they're watching.
It's called the Moore effect. I'm not sure if you have a coin yet.
But it's the second year in a row to not have a general fund amendment, and that's really exciting.
Just more, not some more.
Right. Teresa, I believe.
All right, if there's nothing further, Mr. Councilman, anything that you would like to leave us with on your special day as parting?
No.
We're delighted to have your family here. We're going to go into executive session. Afterwards, you're certainly invited to come back in because I know you're here. No, he's not here. Are they staying or?
He's staying.
Okay.
But no,
Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you both.
Sorry, how was it?